Is it a plane?
In other news, there have been reports of large flocks of birds flying all over the city.
That's what I keep trying to tell everyone. It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's
Hats and chats. It just has to be.
My leg!
With that, welcome to our new episode of Hats and Chats, everybody.
Hats and chats. I almost forgot the name of the podcast.
Don't worry.
All right.
For
So
one
good.
nanosecond, I was like,
Hold on.
what was this again?
You know, the sad part is I'm the production manager, and I'm very sad about myself right now.
So are you
Anyway,
sure we can trust you with everything
I'm
else?
not sure that I can trust myself with anything.
Should we take the
be
launch
honest.
codes away from her?
The launch code.
I'm gonna need your key and all of your identification.
All of it?
Yes.
All of it, including your fan club memberships.
You need your fan club card?
I have very few, but you know, each one is very significant and precious to me. You know, I got Lord of the Rings, Hayley Williams, you know, just her exclusively, and then I have Paramore, and other than that, I don't know, Zelda maybe, and I don't know. I mean, I like a lot of things, but I would say those are like my top like squeeing fangirl clubs.
Those are the things you will actively sign up for a fan club.
Oh yeah.
What about Star Wars?
I like Star Wars a lot. Don't get me wrong, but I seem to like be a mega fan in waves. If that makes sense.
No,
you know,
that makes sense.
Like the movie comes out and I'm like, Star Wars, and then like,
I mean, you need a break because Star Wars is everywhere. And speaking of Star Wars, we will hold off on that as we will talk about this week's comics.
yeah,
All right.
comic books.
Woo. All right, so we got Boom Studios, and there's one you might be interested in, Caitlin.
Huh?
It's a miniseries, it's the first issue for Lady Castle.
Lady Castle.
Basically, the
I have several questions.
All right.
Sounds like my topic.
All right, to explain, the plot is there's a kingdom, and the king and his royal guard and his knights go on to a crusade while their wives and lady folk stay in the castle.
Okay.
The men get eaten by a dragon.
Oh.
And there's a curse.
Wait. I'm not gonna lie. The image that I got though was just like it's like 1,000 men, right?
Yeah.
Just rough number, and this dragon just comes and just eats them all.
No.
One bite.
It's like a Monty Python effect where you got this like still photo of a dragon. He just zooms by and you see all the men gone, like something from like Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
But so
great.
the dragon in this curse, it's on its way to the kingdom, and the women have to, put armor on and protect their kingdom.
Great. Awesome. Now that I mean, as long as it doesn't get, I feel like that can get kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
When it's like it's trying so hard to be like women can do stuff too that it's just annoying.
Yeah, like
it's not even like it's not even promoting anymore. It's just like okay, because all of the men are gone.
Yeah.
Now we need women.
The women need to pick up their slack.
Yeah, and that's.
I mean, it's like it could either be something like that, or it could be like Rat Queens, for example.
Yeah, I mean, on the other hand, it could definitely be like, all the men are gone, and if you're going from a really like a very realistic point of view, if all the men just like disappeared during a medieval time, considering that a lot of women, didn't know how to read or write, and a lot of them. Although they might have known the basics of whatever craft their husband did, they probably didn't know how to really and completely fully do it themselves.
So bringing in a dragon on its way and it's pissed.
Yeah.
But then again, this comic, its art style looks very more lighthearted, so it might not be too dark. It's and Boom Studios doesn't really produce a lot of dark books.
Okay.
First panel, just horrific, bloody scene of 3 men being eaten by the dragon.
And then next panel. Horrible depression.
No. If it's trying to be lighthearted, I'm not sure you guys seen Sword Art Online Abridged, but there's a moment where after they reveal the main bad guy of the first story arc, it has a long pilot, and this is an abridged series, so it's meant to be comedic. You hear like one dude saying, "We're fucked." So,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
that's what happens. Like, everyone's dead. You see the women in this, and it's like, we're fucked.
I gotta say, abridged animes are some of the most beautiful things.
Sometimes they're
On
better
the
than
planet.
the original. Like, DBZ
I mean,
Abridged is a lot.
DBC abridged is magnificent, and
Yeah.
I was not a fan of Dragon Ball Z at all, but just watching
Like, when I showed
the
you,
abridged version.
when I first exposed you to it with the banjo Imperial March thing.
No, my favorite, because Cole showed me this before you even showed me that. It was the part where I think it was like Gohan laying on the ground, and was it Piccolo who comes over to him and he shakes him and he's like, Gohan, you want to do that thing? Where what did he say?
Or you go crazy and you beat the bad guys up.
Don't you fucking ignore me.
I love
it. So funny.
But,
and he's just laying there like basically dead.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing? Where he said, like, I'm gonna rape Christmas. And then he goes, Nobody rapes Christmas.
Team 4-star, we love you guys.
It's amazing.
Alright, next we're going to go to Dark Horse with Hellboy Winter Special 2017.
Okay.
And Mike Mignola is like the Ozzy Osbourne of comics. He says he's retiring, and yet he has to do one more thing.
Right.
I'm like...
I feel like every industry has one guy like that. You know? I mean, think about it. Football. You have Brett Favre. And then you got Hayao Miyazaki.
For anime.
For anime. You know, I feel like every medium has that one old fart who will not stop.
Because I remember Hellboy in Hell was supposed to be Mike Mignola's final thing in Hellboy.
Right.
But then he released a little one-shot special supposed to be in the past.
Yeah.
Now he's releasing the winter special. And I'm like... It's like, I know you want to move on from comics, but do you?
Yeah, do you though? Yeah.
Especially
Don't lie to us.
Especially the fact that he's being approached by Guillermo del Toro and Ron Perlman to try to revitalize Hellboy 3.
Right.
So, it seems like he wants to continue on with comics, but not Hellboy. It seems like he's... And it's good to have someone passionate with work, because Hellboy was his baby. It was his original material, and he loved doing that.
So was this the first comic that's come out for Hellboy in a bit, or
no? Like I could say, like maybe last month there was that one Hellboy one shot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember we talked about it and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
how old is he now?
I'm not sure. He looks like maybe in his 40s, 50s, maybe. I could be wrong.
Okay, I was gonna say he can't be like because Hellboy isn't extremely old.
Yeah, it's a '90s property, and the way he looks, he doesn't look like Alan Moore, ancient wizard look. So
yeah,
like Alan Moore when he was retiring from comics, they're like, "You're angry and you're old. You need to retire."
Go away.
Like Alan Moore, you're a talented man, but you're angry.
Yeah.
Like this is a man who insults comic fans. Like, why are you even still in the business?
Yeah.
You're an old fart.
Yeah, I mean, if you're so bitter about it, like, what is the point in staying within an industry that you have absolutely no love for? That just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't give you passion for the medium anymore. And it's just...
Like, Frank Miller, his work might be terrible, but at least he still wants to make comics.
Yeah. His work is terrible, though. God.
All right.
Can we petition for him to quit?
I'm sure someone already has.
Oh, boy.
Probably many people, actually.
Yeah,
many
honestly, I'm sure. Anyway, so what's the next one?
All right, next we're going to DC.
DC, okay.
And there's another book you might be interested in.
Yes.
Odyssey of the Amazons.
Odyssey of the... Okay.
It's a story taking place before Wonder Woman was even born about the adventures of the Amazons.
What?
Is it going to, like, focus on her mother? Or, just random Amazons?
Just the Amazons as a whole.
Oh, okay. So just the people.
Themyscira.
What?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Stop. Oh my gosh,
Wonder
I'm so
Woman's
excited.
been, like, DC.
That was the fan club
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, guys. Let's be real.
You love your Wonder Woman.
I just love just everything about her. Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. She's like if I had wrote the pinnacle of what I would want a superhero to be.
Yeah.
It'd be Wonder Woman's.
And to be honest, like from what I'm hearing, DC's best book right now is Wonder Woman.
Good. I'm so excited for the trade.
I love how DC tried to make it a big deal, even though it was already a big deal. Like, remember when they revealed that Wonder Woman was bisexual? I'm like...
I remember the entirety of the internet being... Duh.
Yeah. No, I literally... and it's so funny that you bring that up, too.
Yeah.
Because somebody liked my tweet from all the way back when that happened.
Yeah.
And it was something like... sorry, DC, we're not going to give you a medal for stating the obvious. # Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And this one dude replied, and he was like, dang.
It's like, if you read early Wonder Woman, it's there is so much.
It's so blatant.
Like there's overtones, and there's undertones, and there's overtones.
I think the perfect example was Earth 1.
Earth 1, yeah.
Yeah, Earth 1 was a great example of just like, I think being honest about what life was probably like on Themyscira.
Yeah.
You know, because you literally just see like women sleeping together all over the island. Yeah. And it's like, that literally would be the case.
When you have an island full of people that it's one gender, and they have and they have attachment.
Gender doesn't matter.
Gender doesn't matter.
It's like,
I remember there was a panel for one Wonder Woman comic. I don't know if it was fan art or real art, but I remember saw on Tumblr where Wonder Woman says like on Themyscira we don't have same-sex marriage, we just have marriage.
Yeah, yeah. It's not because it's not even a concept.
It's not
because
even...
to them they don't have another gender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't even say, it's like, I love how, like, people, like, I was expecting, like, people, like, being like, oh, Wonder Woman, like, they're forcing it. I was like, everyone's just like, I like how the entire world unanimously say, like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I feel like some of them pause for a second, but then the gears start winding.
Really started turning, they were like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Alright, next we're going to go to, Image.
Okay.
And the writer of Spider-Gwen is releasing a new miniseries.
Okay.
Titled, hold on, let me...
Titled?
Let's see, I gotta get my...
Sorry, I don't know a book called, sorry, hold on.
Loose Ends.
Loose Ends?
Yeah, it's a Southern crime story.
Southern crime story.
Because the writer, Jason Latour, he's working on another series that's basically also a Southern crime story.
Okay.
Southern Bastards.
So,
in the swamps of Florida. No.
So, Southern, like, modern Southern...
Modern Southern, but, like, the culture of the South, but in the modern setting.
Okay.
So, like, Alabama, but in 2017 or 2016.
That can be touchy. You can get that really wrong.
I mean,
honestly.
I heard people love Southern Bastards. It's, like, one of Image's, like, highest regarded works.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I lived in South Alabama for quite a bit of my life, so... I feel like it'd be interesting to see somebody else's take on it, you know? Because I definitely got a good taste, honestly, of like...
Yeah.
Need to have you read
really
it and then just have like a checklist of how offended am I?
or how accurate it is.
Yeah, that's... I mean, honestly, it could be, you know, it could be one of those things where like every single character... Every single place they go to, I'm just like, yeah.
I know one.
Okay, we'll start a chart. One side will be accuracies. One side will be offensiveness.
It'll be accuracies, inaccuracies. You know, just go on both ends. Yeah. But yeah, okay.
All right, next we're going to IDW.
Okay.
We're getting a new it's miniseries all this week. Back to the Future. Biff to the Future. Biff is getting his own story.
But why?
Like, his own separate story, or are they going to follow what they did in the film, where, like, is it going to follow him going back?
I'm not sure, but it's just, it's a 6-issue miniseries, so it could either be Biff's misadventures kind of thing, because the Back to the Future comic is interesting. Like, it actually delves into Doc's history and stuff.
Okay.
As well as just their adventures. Like, imagine Rick and Morty, but not as dark.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's Back to the Future, but it continues.
Okay.
So, I mean, in that time frame in the movie, when he steals DeLorean, you know, you could literally have him do whatever you want within an infinite time frame because it's a time machine.
Right.
So I was just wondering, like, Biff as a main character.
I hate him already.
Yeah.
I mean, Biff is supposed to be that lovable loser. Like,
he's not very lovable, though.
He's not very lovable, though.
True. Maybe it's just him getting the snot kicked out of him.
It could be. It could just be like...
Biff sucks the comic.
It's like doing a entire show just on Tom from Tom and Jerry. And it's just him getting the crap kicked out of him the whole time.
What's funny, I know IDW has a step, like, with their Mighty Morphin comics, they have a separate backup series just about the bullies, Bulk and Skull. So it could be the same thing.
Great.
That'll be strange.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel.
I mean, 6 issues, so what is there to lose?
Yeah.
Alright, next we're going to Marvel.
Marvel.
With the final issue of Carnage, number 16.
Okay, cool.
So the final issue?
The final issue of this main series, because what's funny, I'm surprised we had a Carnage comic last for 2 years, like month for month. Like,
Sorry, is that the?
That's
you lent me a Carnage comic. Is that was that the start of the series?
Yeah, the first 5 issues.
Okay. Yeah,
and it's been probably one. I call it the longest chase comic of all time, mixed with Lovecraftian horror.
Okay. It's
basically to sum up Carnage. It went from like a simple like trap the monster. That's how the first 5 issues start. Mm. But then it delves into Lovecraftian horror, cosmic horror, because Carnage basically finds the Marvel equivalent of Necronomicon, the Darkhold.
Okay.
And it's basically him trying to find the god behind the book. So it delves into Lovecraft, it delves into sea horror.
Oh, that's right. He gets trapped in like a mine shaft or something, right?
Yeah, that's how it starts, but then he gets recruited by a cult, and it gets really interesting. It's basically one long chase for Carnage. Okay. And it's ending, and it's really good. It was written by Gary Conway, who wrote Death of Gwen Stacy back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And
wow.
The thing is, this is like an old school comic writer.
Right.
His writing is very, very holds up. He nails every character. It's like, the one fear I have with having like old school writers in modern day is just some of them don't age well. Like I love Stan Lee.
There was just so much
different
exposition and so much like of characters' thoughts but being stated.
Yeah.
And so often now we just use art to really explain, you focus on a shot. It's like a movie, you focus on a shot of somebody's face, and it tells you everything that you need to know. They don't really need to say, "Oh, I'm worried," but like back during that day with Amazing Spider-Man, that's exactly how it would go down. The person would literally say, "I am worried about this," So
what comes to mind for me is like a panel where like Spider-Man's like looking up at like I don't know. Like a door or something, and he's like, "I need to open that door." It's like all right.
It's
all
like
right.
We already knew that.
Why do you gotta tell me that?
It's like the Arkham series with Batman, where he's like, "I must find a way to get out of here so I can escape." I'm like, "Yeah."
No, they do that in games a lot.
No, they do.
Like, they just have the characters like actually say what everybody already kind of knows, and it's weird.
It's kind of like they sum up everything that you learned when you receive the quests. So I think maybe what that might be for is just for those people who are too impatient to watch the cutscenes for receiving quests and stuff like that. So then you get to the end and they're like, so I guess I should go find this, And for the people who skip everything, it's like, okay, that's what I gotta do now.
But Carnage has been pretty good. I remember I was surprised to hear a furry joke from a Carnage book.
A furry joke?
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, one of the heroes they had to hunt Carnage was Jameson's son, John Jameson.
Okay,
who was
heroes, quote unquote.
Because the main theme of the comic is in order to hunt a monster, you must employ monsters.
Okay.
Because Jameson's son, John, is cursed by a space rock from the moon, and he becomes Man-Wolf.
Okay.
And they send Man-Wolves basically to sniff out Carnage in the early issues where he was in the mine shaft. And Carnage's like, "I never got to see a day where I can kill a furry."
But he's not a furry.
I mean, he's a werewolf.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel.
I think there's like a technical definition. We have to break it down now.
Yeah. Need Danielle on here.
Danielle or Cole, someone who's more well in depth in the weird. Not saying your furries are weird. We just want.
No, it's just like
we can't approach that topic. To be honest, we can't
because we don't know. We're
know.
Ignorant. We're ignorant sluts. Yeah, that's fine.
But it's also probably my favorite Eddie Brock story because Eddie Brock was a main character in the comic because the government basically because he had the toxin symbiote during the time, and they basically he was in jail. It was like, okay. Agent Venom's in the galaxy. We need a new symbiote hero. You'll do. So they sent him to hunt Carnage.
You can do it.
You hate him, right? I remember you hate him. I remember you said you wanted to eat his brains once.
So that's good enough. Just come with us.
All right, so that's it for this week's books.
Okay, cool.
And speaking of Eddie Brock, one of the big reveals happened yesterday. Marvel's announced in April that Eddie Brock, after 12 years, will get the Venom symbiote finally.
Okay.
It's something fans been demanding ever since Eddie Brock wasn't Venom.
And you were one of those, right?
Yeah, I was like, here's my opinion is, well, Flash Thompson is my favorite host. He's one of my favorite comic characters. I love his run of Agent Venom. I'm at least glad it's Eddie Brock because, not gonna lie, the current host, Lee Price, he's an asshole. Like, not even like an interesting asshole. He's just an asshole.
If you're gonna be an asshole, at least be interesting.
No, dead seriously, like, he's basically this stick in the mud, angry, pissed off guy. This guy is such a jackass. He killed a homeless man because he could potentially rat him out. And the homeless man like, what am I going to gain if I rat you out? He's like, you sound convincing. That's why I got to kill you, because you could convince someone else.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
Yeah, this guy is like I know Marvel's trying to advertise, like, they want to bring Venom back to a villain, because a lot of fans wanted the classic, drooling, angry Venom. I'm like, that's good.
So he is going back to being a villain then?
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering about that, because isn't he... Eddie Brock anyway, isn't he like a good guy-ish
he's trying to he's trying to redeem himself because he feels guilty from after being Venom and killing people willy-nilly.
So he's like a anti-hero, maybe?
And he's an anti-hero. When he was anti-Venom, he was like he killed because he felt people were guilty, like criminals, as well as with the anti-Venom symbiote, he purged people who had illnesses because that's what the anti-Venom symbiote could do.
Okay.
But then so many symbiotes. It was destroyed. He got toxin, and he went to hunt Carnage. But now apparently he loses the toxin symbiote, and he's going to get Venom again.
Okay.
And what's funny, the symbiote is trying to be a good guy because it learned how to be a hero through Flash Thompson, and it was forcibly being controlled by Lee Price, which is one of the best dynamics of it. Was that the symbiote is being controlled, not it controlling someone.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I remember you saying that before. So okay.
So it could be interesting to see both the symbiote and the host on the same page.
Right.
So it could be interesting. We could have like classic Lethal Protector, anti-Venom, anti-hero Venom.
Okay. I mean, sounds good.
I mean, it's also because like out of all the Marvel characters, like you know how like this character dies, well a few years they come back just to align with a movie or something. Ironically, Eddie Brock has not been Venom for 12 years. And yet, if you look at action figures, if you look at toys, T-shirts, that's the Venom they always go with.
Oh, that's like, okay.
So if, like,
what else can you do with that? I mean, can't really, like... I mean, obviously you can change the way he looks, but it's, like, the same guy for so long. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. You could say that with Spider-Man. They it seems like most of the time go with, like, generic looks for the action figures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they've done other ones. They've done Miles. So...
Speaking of Miles, I was shopping with my sister, and they have toys for the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, and I forgot they did this in the cartoon. Miles Morales, when I looked at him, they changed his name in the cartoon to avoid confusion, and they gave him the lamest name possible, Kid Arachnid.
Kid Arachnid?
Couldn't call him Spidey. You couldn't call him Ultimate Spider-Man.
Even Arachnid would have been better than just Kid Arachnid. It's weird.
Because I remember watching the episode because Peter and Miles, because Miles was trapped in the main universe.
Yeah.
And he was like, we can't have two Spider-Mans running around. I was like, it's not stopping Marvel.
Well, no, I get that, like, for kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But don't call him Kid Arachnid. That's stupid. That's lame.
You can't tell me it's hard to explain that he's Spider-Man, but just...
From another universe.
A different universe, yeah.
No, I can see that being confusing.
Especially, this is a Disney show meant for kids, like little kids.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's meant for, like, little kids...
I don't think little kids, yeah.
Could have called him Spidey.
Maybe.
Spider-Boy?
I don't know.
Isn't there already a Spider-Boy?
I mean, in the Amalgam universe, when DC and Marvel fused together, Spider-Boy was Superboy and Spider-Man.
What?
I don't want to know anything more. Stop.
Okay.
Stop it right now.
Okay, should we move on?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to get stuck in a comic book time loop and die. Anyway, so...
Next topic we should talk about...
Oh, I want to announce this one.
Sure.
Okay. Ruby Season 5.
Woo!
Woo! Oh my gosh,
And
so excited.
Now, I'm surprised just, like, this announcement is this soon. Like, Ruby has confidence in the show.
Well, I'm not, and here's why.
Why?
Because they moved to a new studio, the animators.
Yeah.
The team is expanded, And also, since they've announced that they're going to have 20 seasons,
Yeah.
you know, that is a lot. And like Corey and I were talking about this the other day. I was like, if they were doing like only one season a year, like we're going to be like 40 and have kids by the time this freaking show is done.
I can see them, once they reach a comfortable amount of people on their team and animators and everything, I can see them doing at least one season, a season, you know. Three a year, I think would be good if they're planning to go with as many as they are. I mean, it depends on, obviously, how fast they want to get through it.
That's a season every 4 months.
I mean, then again, Red vs. Blue is a yearly show as well. Mm-hmm. And that's not to denounce Red vs. Blue, but it's not as hard, it's not as difficult to make with instead of RWBY, because a lot of times Red vs. Blue, they just have the game engine.
I mean, and although Red vs. Blue is pretty popular, I feel like RWBY, though, is just...
It's their most commercial show.
It's such a popular demand thing now.
Like... In terms of profit, RWBY is probably the most profitable show of all time.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Well, I mean, if you think about it, Red vs. Blue... I mean, so RWBY, like, started recently, right? Red vs. Blue has been around for a really, really long time.
Like...
So,
yeah,
there's so much there already that, like... I guess, like, for example, feel like we have to watch the previous versions of it, and there's just something kind of... I don't know, uninteresting, off-putting,
yes, yeah.
Of, like, having to, like, watch that to get into the more recent stuff.
Yeah, because I stopped watching Red vs. Blue after the 8th season, because season 9 and onwards, the plot got a little more serious.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of fans really love that, but for me, I just like the dumb humor, these bunch of dumbasses in the middle of, while they're, like, using the Halo engine. And it was neat seeing Monty take over in season 8 when he joined Rooster Teeth and seeing his animation. Like, wow, that looks really cool. But when the plot got serious, like, wow, I love the animation, I just didn't really care. And then RWBY got me back in Rooster Teeth.
And I would say, like, RWBY is such a great amalgamation of, like, it's got a good amount of humor, it gets really serious at times.
But it doesn't go overboard. I'm glad the fourth season...
No, it doesn't. Honestly, oh, God, I love this show so much. And we've talked about it before, where, like, what makes it just so incredibly great is just how there are so many characters. It's very similar to Fairy Tail, why a lot of people like Fairy Tail.
Or Naruto.
Yeah. There's so many characters that people can get into and love for different reasons, So
I honestly saying, like, almost every main character and primary, secondary character has their own fan base.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like, you even going to the screenings for RWBY and stuff like that, you would see people, some of them would have Ren shirts, some would have Pyrrha, some would have,
Velvet, Penny,
like, there is a fan base for basically even the villains.
Bro, yeah, like, people cosplay as the villains.
Yeah, people love to hate them,
or love to love them.
Yeah.
Like, even
especially Roman.
Even the new villains, like, while I felt they were a little underwhelming this season, they're already gaining a fan base. Like, Tyrion, the new villain they introduced, he's already having a massive fan base.
Well, because his fight with Crow was...
Yeah.
Woo! It was amazing.
Yeah.
So, honestly, favorite fight, 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, Corey was a huge fan
would
of that
squee
fight.
Again.
Like,
would squee again.
Of the season or of the series?
Just that
fight specifically between Crow and Tyrion.
Yeah.
He loved that so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I did too, but
would you
he
say
was like,
Crow's one of your favorite characters?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He's
Crow.
Everybody's drunk uncle. It's great.
He's Drunk Bay.
Drunk Bay.
Drunk Bay.
But yeah, so that's
Danielle,
basically it for season. So season 5.
They also announced RWBY Chibi season 2.
And that'll be this summer.
This May.
Okay, yeah. So that'll be during the summer, and then season 2 will come. I mean, season 5 will come out
this fall. They also announced Camp season 2 in June.
Okay, that's great.
And Red vs. Blue season 15 in April.
Crazy.
I don't think we've finished watching Camp.
No, we didn't.
You guys need to.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that yet, though, that is also a Rooster Teeth show. It's hilarious.
It's like surprisingly hilarious. Like,
it is.
I remember like when the screenings, we were like kind of like, what is this?
Yeah, I don't know.
But then watching it, and we're like, this is really hilarious.
And when it was like you and Cole like coming to me, and you guys are like. And this was a few months after it had been out and everything.
Yeah,
and like,
it was already over.
Already over for the summer and stuff like that. And then you guys came and you were like, you really need to watch a show. It's hilarious. And I was like, I don't know. Even after you guys were talking it up to me, And we finally sat down to watch it, and we were like, oh my god, this is hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, what was the next thing we wanted to talk about?
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
The new movie
Star Wars.
finally got a title. The Last Jedi.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
So I guess, spoilers, Luke is the Last Jedi.
Supposedly,
Spoilers.
I've heard a lot of people acting very, very scared that because they theorize that Luke might die, and then it's going to be Rey, and she is called the Last Jedi. So I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
No, the original cast is not. The original characters are not safe.
That's true. Yeah.
After Force Awakens, nobody's safe from.
Nah.
No,
Well,
okay. The
no.
original character, the original
Nah.
Star Wars characters,
Except
aren't-
Chewbacca. Chewbacca, he's going to live past everybody. That thing is, he is immortal.
Well,
Them
I
toy
will
sales.
say, I mean, Han Solo was kind of just coming, though.
It
because
was
he was done
obvious.
with the role.
Like Harrison Ford was like, there's a Cards Against. It's still well known he didn't want to be there. There's a Cards Against Humanity card that said he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
What's the name of the new actor they're getting to play him in the next after
That's a great
The Last
question.
Jedi?
I saw on the
forgot.
internet, though, that they,
Yeah, for the
they
prequel.
met up
Oh, yeah.
recently, the two that play Han Solo, and
Yeah.
just like had lunch and got to know each other and
Yeah.
stuff like that, which I thought was cool. But I don't know his name though.
Me neither.
Yeah.
It escapes me right now, and isn't that the next?
It'll be one of those things. Once we see the movie, it's probably going to be like,
Like-
infamous and in our minds for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
But yeah. Up until that point, until we actually see him on screen and
Young Han Solo. That's what we're
playing
gonna call him.
everybody's favorite.
Well, that'll be a big booster for whoever's playing Han Solo too. I mean, like,
Oh yeah.
nobody can just come up and say like, "Oh yeah, I played Han Solo in new film." Like, okay, clearly
Yeah.
someone trusted you with that iconic role.
Well,
Yeah.
that's like
Especially Disney.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the comedian was, but you totally made me think of this. He's like, I really want to walk on the moon. Just so then, anytime I'm like going to a party and stuff like that, and there's some asshole who's like, yeah, so I bought a new Ferrari the other day, and then I could just walk up behind him and be like, oh yeah, I've walked on the moon. And it's like one of those topper things that you can
Yeah.
always say, that's like better than any. And I feel like that is definitely one of those things.
Yeah.
You play the iconic role of Han Solo, in a solo Han Solo film.
Yeah,
you
I feel
know?
like that's every Batman actor ever.
Right? Oh yeah, well I'm Batman.
In a room with the other people who have also played Batman.
Yeah,
Except George
right?
Clooney, he's ashamed for that.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
you have Adam West walk in and everyone gets awkwardly silent.
Oh my god. So I just realized this. Didn't they do this in Fairly Odd Parents? The guy who plays Catman,
Oh,
isn't that Adam
That
West?
is Adam West.
That is the voice.
And
That is hysterical.
and he's basically a parody of himself.
That is so funny.
No, what's even more hilarious, Adam West plays Mayor Adam West in Family Guy, and Seth MacFarlane has one policy for his character, Adam West. Never mention that he ever played Batman, because they want to bring out Adam West's actual talent. Because one thing Adam West had during his career that he had trouble with was he couldn't get other work because people thought, oh, you're Batman from that old TV show.
Aww.
Until Adam West decided to make a career coming, like just owning the role.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was Batman from the 60s. What up?
Now, was that like a bad thing because... Like, did he take it as a bad thing? Or was it like just one of those things where it's like, oh, we can't take this away from you kind of a thing? Or...
It was one of those things where he realized, like, if you can't beat him, join him.
Oh, alright.
Because, like, originally it was hard for him to find work after the 60s Batman. Until...
And it was probably because
he was typecast.
Yeah. He was so closely associated with the character that it's like if people saw him in other movies, other
right.
TV shows, they would only think of Batman,
Okay.
I'm trying to think of, like, another like actor that's gotten pigeonholed like that, but like in recent history,
I feel like Dane DeHaan is always typecast as a crazy person.
Okay, but that could just be the roles that he takes. I don't think that's because, like, he played a specific character and then people just assumed that that's all he could do, I don't know. I think it might really just be the roles that he chooses because he knows that's what he can do.
True.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know. I'm sure there is somebody who has, like, in modern history.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one, but none come to mind right now.
Yeah, like...
I mean, I was going to say Daniel Radcliffe, but he's done other stuff. You know?
Well, I mean, if you're young enough, and you were around when you saw him go, like, through all those movies, and obviously if you're a fan of the movies, you're probably... when you see a picture of Daniel Radcliffe, I guarantee you your first thought's going to be like, oh, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Okay, who's the guy who played Edward Cullen in Twilight?
Oh, shoot. Robert Pattinson. Dang.
Yeah, I feel like he's being typecast as, oh, you're Edward.
Oh my god, that was almost really bad. Not even because, like, I've actually enjoyed other films that he's been in, and weirdly enough, Kat and I found videos on YouTube of him singing, and he's actually really, really good.
Maybe it's just Twilight was just not a good material to work with for a debut.
Honestly, it's an ongoing joke that Robert hates those movies. He hates the Twilight series movies.
Hasn't he gone on to interviews and exclusively, like, either avoided questions or, like, just outward said, like, oh, I don't know, or, like, I don't care. Just unenthusiastic.
No, literally, he gave zero shits about those movies.
Was it just a paycheck, or do you think he was, like, optimistic until he realized he signed a contract for 6 movies?
It was optimistic until he realized how much control Stephanie Meyer had over the movies, and then she didn't know what she was doing, and so the movies just ended up being crap. And so, like, the source material, originally, he thought it was going to be okay, that they could work with it, that they could do, like, something nice for it, and... No.
Stephanie Meyer is just a crazy woman.
She is kind of insane. I will say I enjoyed The Host a lot, and the movie was pretty solid for that. And then the last movie for the Twilight series, Breaking Dawn Part 2. Now, I will say, as somebody who read the books and then watched the movies, the plot twist at the end of that movie... So basically what they did... is there's, like, this scene where the girl who can see into the future...
Oh, the battle scene.
She, like, touches the leader of the Volturi, like, the big bad guys in the books,
The evil vampires.
And, the evil vampires. So she touches him, and she shows him what would happen if they decided to fight, right? So, but they don't, like, make that really obvious, right? She goes up to him, touches him, and then the whole battle starts to ensue. All these major characters start dying. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, especially if you've read the books, you are so confused right now because it didn't play out like this in the books. All that happened was she just touched him and then he was like, nah, dog, I ain't doing that. And because he was going to die, the leader of the Volturi. So he's like, nah, I ain't dying today. So he just walked away. So in the movie, they go through this whole battle. Everybody's freaking out. And then it just pans back to her just standing there with him. And you're like, what? Like, that was really, really good. Like, perfect directing there.
Alright. So, what's your thoughts on the title? Do you think is there anything to talk about? For Star Wars?
Yeah. We go from Star Wars to Twilight. What a podcast, man.
Yeah.
This is great.
One over
Last
excessive
Jedi.
fan base to another.
I will say, I mean, it kind of gets the gears turning, on, like, what exactly it means. So, I think that's smart.
Because The Force Awakens had a more obvious meaning of the title.
Honestly, I
thought that was so ambiguous. I had no idea what that meant at all. Force Awakens, what?
What does it mean? I can see them, again, going back to what I said earlier about people trying to figure out why it's called The Last Jedi and theorizing, oh, Luke might die. I can totally see them, like, pulling off the Obi-Wan scene when they're on the Death Star and Obi-Wan's fighting Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. I can see them pulling off something like that. Like, after Luke gives all the training to Rey and everything, him pulling some heroic move, and then it, like, goes on that kind of, like, as a tribute to... Because, like, one thing we've learned already from the new Star Wars film is that they are very big on, like... taking influence from the first movies and And by first movies, I mean the first 3 that ever came out, which was
right.
4,
the
5,
80s
and 6.
prequel.
The original trilogy.
Not 1, 2, and 3. Those came out after.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's a different thing.
They're basically passing the torch story from the original cast to the new cast.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have anything more really to say on it. I think it's like just like mysterious enough to get people like thinking and theorizing and going crazy and stuff like that, which is good because we need this type of energy to kind of keep us going until it comes out in December. So
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then also just like I don't know, in light of Carrie Fisher and all that stuff. You know, there's just a lot of
Wasn't it confirmed that she had all of her scenes filmed for that already?
Yeah.
That's what I heard. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, gosh. That's going to be the last movie she was ever in.
Like, imagine seeing that in the theaters, like, in memory of Carrie Fisher.
Oh, no, that's guaranteed going to be on there. I'm calling it right now.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't know if it's going to start like that or end like that.
I don't know.
It'll most likely end like that, because that's typically what they do is, like, at the end, just before the credits, they'll have a black screen up with in memory of whoever was in the movie.
And it's literally, and the purpose of that is that you just saw
the movie.
This work that, you know, whoever was a part of.
Yeah.
And then basically just saying that, like, all of this and all of the great work that we were able to do here in memory of, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But man, I'm just excited. I don't know.
All right. We got one more topic. Not good news, though.
Yeah.
We're getting reports that Alien 5 is might be canceled.
Okay.
To avoid confusion, no, it's not Alien Covenant.
Alien Covenant is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
It's happening.
That is not Alien 5. Let me explain.
I was going to say, that'd be kind of bad if they canceled it, considering they already have, like,
trailers.
Posters and trailers out for it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a thing! Next week, it's not going to be a thing!
Oh, no, you don't, like, no movie should ever take any plunge like that.
No.
You know?
Yeah. Alright, to explain Alien Covenant, not Alien Covenant, Alien 5, Neil Blomkamp, who was a director of District 9, Chappie, Elysium.
Okay.
He wrote a script, and he proposed to 20th Century Fox. He wants to make a sequel to Aliens that ignore the events of Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. It was going to have Sigourney Weaver come back. I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who played Hudson, Hicks, the surviving soldier, and it's going to takes place years after events of Aliens. Because, spoiler alert, but I don't recommend this movie, in Alien 3, Bishop, the surviving characters besides Ripley, Bishop, the android, Newt, the little girl, and Hicks died. Beginning of the movie, it's not even spoilers if it's the first 5 seconds of the movie.
No, not really.
Like, those characters were immediately dead. And fans were pissed. Because Alien 3 is considered the bastard of the series, and Alien Resurrection is considered the child in the basement that everyone ignores.
Okay.
So, coming from someone who isn't, like, really a fan of the Alien series, and this is really just because I haven't watched them, what is the order in which the movies come?
Okay, ignoring AVP, which is debatably canon, it's Prometheus, Alien Covenant, Aliens, Alien 3, and Resurrection.
Okay. So, as a fan of the series, Chris, just saying, like, how do you feel about the movie being canceled? Like, were you looking forward to it? Do you feel like it was needed?
I was really disappointed because they released concept art of Alien 5, and it looked cool. We had Sigourney Weaver was going to reprise her role, and she was excited to reprise her role, and she had this weird biosuit that made her look like a xenomorph. We saw Hicks in cool armor. He got the acid burn from Aliens. I'm not sure if Newt was going to come back, but we saw them fighting an alien queen on the loose. We see what looks like they're going to bring back something that was deleted from Alien. Turns out in Alien there is a form of reproduction we never seen with the xenomorphs, where the xenomorphs capture people and they convert them into eggs instead of having a queen.
Huh.
Yeah, it was deleted for pacing, but it was in the director's cut. Yeah.
Well then.
Ugh.
Yeah. But
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
But recently, a fan asked Neil Blomkamp, "Hey, what's the status of Alien 5 now that Alien Covenant's coming out this year?" And he says, "Slim to none." So it's pretty much, it's not 100% canceled, but slim to none is not a good thing to hear.
Right.
Has there been a reason given?
There's been speculation. There is already a reason why the film's not coming out soon. If it is coming out, is that Ridley Scott specifically said to Neil Blomkamp he wants the film delayed so he can finish his prequel series with Alien. Because Alien Covenant is the second of this trilogy, with Prometheus, Covenant, and a third film.
Okay.
So he's canceling 5s to work on Covenant.
Blomkamp has no involvement for Covenant. And
okay.
Ridley Scott is the main man behind it, and people are speculating either Fox just wanted to devote solely to that, they're just waiting on to see if Covenant does well in the box office to warrant another Alien film, or some people are speculating that Ridley Scott's direction and story could contradict what's going on with 5.
Oh, okay. No, that's
and Ridley,
those are all like valid things. Like I could see them
and,
wanting to wait because they're not sure how well it's gonna do.
And the fact that this prequel trilogy is supposed to explain the xenomorphs, it could, stuff that was originally planned for Alien 5 that it might reveal might contradict that.
Right.
Looking from the outside in, the Aliens franchise, it just seems so messy. If that makes sense. It is messy because Alien is one of the greatest horror sci-fi films of all time. Aliens is one of the greatest sci-fi action films of all time. Alien 3 was one of the biggest disappointments of all time. so many titles for Alien there.
Alien Resurrection is one of the dumbest films of all time. And it's just like, as an Alien fan, we have such tough, because we go through so much abuse. Like, you Star Wars fans are lucky there's just a plethora of stuff for you guys. Well,
I think they made a joke about it in it was like a crappy Disney Channel show.
Yeah.
Where the main character and his best friend, they were going to. It was like an alien show of some type. They called it something else, of course.
Yeah.
But they were going to that, and they were like, it was like a premiere showing for the new one, or it was like Halloween, and they were doing like a marathon of the movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they go to see them, and the main female lead of the show is like, oh, I kind of want to get into the movies. Which one should I watch? And he's like, well, the first couple are good, but if you watch 3, I'll kill you. It was so funny.
That's how Alien fans feel, because Alien 3, even the director's cut is decent. And that's very strong words, because most fans just despise Alien 3. And Resurrection, everyone unanimously hates it.
Yeah.
And the thing about, I know, and fans are really split on Prometheus. Because some of us on the crew love it, and some of us on the crew hate it.
Yeah.
Because I know Anthony's a fan of Prometheus, and me and Cole aren't on board with it. And it's just that's the problem with Alien Covenant. I'm really excited for Alien Covenant. Well, the only thing holding it back is it's gonna be a continuation of Prometheus. The only thing I'm happy for is because it's gonna have the alien. Because Prometheus was are we an alien film? Maybe, maybe not. Are we? No. Yes. No. No. That's serious. Because I don't know the writer's name, but because there was two writers on Prometheus. The first writer thought it was going to be an alien film. There's going to be xenomorphs, there's going to be new creatures, new forms of xenomorph. But then the writer of Lost came involved and decided, this is cool and all, but I also want to make it a film about the faith, the history, if there's a god or not. The idea of if they're scientific heaven.
An alien movie?
No, that's because he basically, ancient astronaut theory and all that stuff. Yeah. That was glossed over in the original script. The space jockeys had a hand in evolving humans. The writer of Lost, actually, I want to focus on that. The xenomorphs can go bye-bye.
Wow. I feel like you should just start off with your own movie at that point.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because that's just not even in the same ballpark.
It's not an aliens movie anymore. No. It's
the space jockeys.
Yeah.
But even then, the space jockeys, they explain, they had a hand in humanity, but they don't explain it. The way the film was seems they drank this magic goop, and they turned the goop, and DNA went in the water, and that somehow created life. And I'm like, he's like, hey, slap in the face of, like, evolution. And it's like, it's weird. Like, someone said it best. It's like a film that has weird creationist ideas, but Ridley Scott's an atheist. So the film is confused itself.
I'm getting vibes that he wants to make the next book of Scientology.
Oh my god. Like, I was like, Ridley Scott, I know a lot of people blame Ridley Scott for Prometheus. He's the director. His only fault was that he just cut stuff for the sake of pacing. The writer was the main guy who added a lot of, like, you know, ideas of faith, ideas of, why are we here, and all that stuff. I'm like, I just want to know about the xenomorph, for crying out loud. I just want to know why these bastards are there. Want me to tell you how confused the film is? It's a prequel. It has the crashed ship. It has, the weird egg goop things, but it's not even on the same planet.
Okay.
No, dead serious. The planet Alien takes place in is LV-426.
Okay.
Prometheus takes place in 212, LV-212. So it's not even a prequel if it's on the opposite side of the universe.
I don't know.
But
gosh.
As a fan, Chris, like, I want to know what your thoughts are on this. Do you feel like try to ignore, like, the fact that you would want another Alien film, right? But do you feel like this, like, if 5 were being made, do you feel like it's needed? Like, do you feel like it would be necessary?
Honestly, yes, because the thing about Alien 3 and 4 is just the thing that shot Alien 4 in the foot, it completely nullified the events of Aliens. Because, like, the thing about Aliens is you got these lovable characters, you got so many characters, and some of them get killed off, and you got these final survivors, and you're, like, relieved that they survive. And, like, literally imagine watching Star Wars, for example. Like, imagine Episode 8, the film opens where Rey's the only survivor, and Poe and Finn are killed.
Right off the bat?
Like, right off the bat, that's literally the same thing with Alien 3.
Aw, that's awful.
Like, exactly. So, Alien 5 was completely going to erase that, and, you know, Hicks was going to be alive. I don't know about Bishop, but Newt will survive, obviously, if Hicks is alive. What's funny, this was a plot point so hated by fans. Colonial Marines tried to retcon that. They failed, but they tried.
It's bad when Colonial Marines doesn't want to use it.
Yeah. And, there's so much you can do with aliens. Like, there's a big universe. There's a lot of mysteries with aliens. Like, yeah, a lot of people said they like the mystery, but it's good to explore mysteries, but do it slowly. Like, you know, be from humanity's perspective, that's the idea of cosmic horror. Finding stuff we can comprehend. And Alien was a good stepping stone for that. And Aliens was a good stepping stone for that. And the thing about what I love about the Alien films is what ups the ante is bring something new for each thing. Like, Alien. The alien itself, the xenomorph, that was the scary thing. Aliens, the Queen was the scary thing. Alien 3, we had the dog xenomorph. And while I love the dog xenomorph, it downgrades everything. Because Alien 3 had one xenomorph, and it was a slight variation. It's just, take the spikes, walks on 4, there you go. No new form, it's a new form, but no...
and that takes away from the horror and the thrill of it.
They manipulated the horror because in Alien 3 it took place on a prison planet with no guns.
Oh, okay. So that does change the game, but that's still...
It's not like you go from Aliens where you have Sigourney Weaver in a power mech punching an alien into space. She literally punched the damn thing out of an airlock.
I kind of want to see that now.
You guys want to watch Aliens now? You guys want to watch it?
If I can see Sigourney Weaver punch an alien into space, yes.
No, that sounds beautiful.
I have it at my house, so you guys want to watch it soon?
Let's definitely do that, man. Yeah, I mean, we're coming to a close anyway, so, yeah, we highly recommend that if you guys have time to go ahead and check that out, because I'm sure that will just be magical for all of us.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, I don't have too much more to talk about. Hope you guys are doing good out there in the world.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
Remember, don't do drugs. Eat your teeth.